robotics, really just explaining that he's in college and he's looking to actually go to Rutgers.
My alma mater, yes. Douglas side.
And I met everybody in the room, at least introduced myself to everybody in the room. So I got a chance to meet everybody. I didn't find out exactly what everybody's career is and what their personal life is like, but we'll eventually get to that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Karan Johnson. I'm here because, as Jimmy says, I want to be an investigator for the Department of Labor.
You're coming here to investigate that?
Yes. No. I figured that I'm training I get here will increase my knowledge of how to deal with people because that's pretty much what I've been doing. You got to be tactical on both sides, the employers and the employees. And I met some great people, some great young men out here. I hope y'all really achieve what y'all looking for. Y'all seem to be pretty smart. And
No, I think that I'll reserve those. But no, that'll be great. So what do you hope to? Now you just tell me what you hope to achieve. Okay, great. All righty. So thank you, for breaking the ice. Jeffrey, right?
Yes.
Jeffrey, when I first came in, he's one of the people who did approach me. And he stuck out his hand and he said, this is who I am. And it was like, and I really liked that. So again, five people, okay, pinky swear. Do y'all know what that means?
yes.
Okay, well, don't act like you don't know. Okay, so like I'm crazy, okay? And as I was telling Monique, I used to work for kindergarten. Can you tell? I still have a lot of energy, and so nobody goes to sleep until it was nap time in my class. Now I work with big kindergartners in the financial services industry. I actually work for Morgan Stanley. I'm one of their corporate trainers. I train both soft skills and software. So why am I here? I'm here because Sherman, like most of you, gave me an opportunity to be able to pour into the lives of other people. I'm a certified John Maxwell trainer, and one of the things that's underlined, that undergirds, that's foundational to the John Maxwell philosophy is adding value. So I can't add value to someone if I don't know who they are. If I don't know what you came here for. And even though I came with my slides and my presentation, I want to make sure that what I give you, that you walk away with something that you can start to use today. Because I don't know about you, but I've heard that tomorrow is not promised to any of us. But just in case there is, I want to make sure I'm prepared for tomorrow. Okay? And so one of the ways that we're going to be able to do that is to decide to grow. Now, for our college students and for those who are in transition, it really must be a conscious decision. No one's going to tell you when to get up. No one's going to tell you when to go to sleep, when to do your homework. The professor's going to tell you when it's due. But if you want to wait until 11:59 or that night before and pull the all-nighters, because I know that still happens.
Doesn't happen anymore.
Are you kidding me?
Like, we do a week in advance.
Jimmy?
As soon as they give it to you, you start it right there.
I'm feeling you. I really am.
Work throughout the whole weekend, get it done, right there. Why are you laughing?
High five him for that.
He lies with such enthusiasm. But again, we don't have necessarily time clocks on when we choose to grow once we get past a certain age. And so if we want to grow, we need to make sure that we do it ourselves and we do it intentionally. So I like what Jeffrey said when he said that part of the way that we get to those next levels is to plan. So today what we're going to talk about are my battery is low. I have I have a power today. Got it. So one of the things that we want to talk about today, and I'm just going to introduce this subject to you, and if you don't mind, by the end of our time together, I'll also give you the opportunity to explore one of the ways in which we'll be able to work together in the future. And so we're going to be looking at some of the things from John Maxwell, my mentor, the 15 invaluable laws of growth. 15 invaluable laws of growth. There are a number of all 15 laws, if you will follow along with me in your handout. On the inside cover, you'll see all of the laws. Yay. Thank you. You'll see all of the laws. So the first law is what? The law of intentionality. Growth does not just happen. What does that mean? This is still participation.
It means nothing's gonna happen if you don't do anything.
If you don't do anything, nothing is going to happen. That's right. We heard this morning, from Sherman, that the eagle, there were certain things that they have a lifespan of 70 years. But just about midpoint, midlife, oh God, they're talking about me. There has to be something that they're going to have to do, because if they don't do it, what's going to happen? They won't be able to eat. He mentioned 3 major things. They won't be able to feed themselves. What's the other one? They what? They won't be able to feed their kids or themselves, right? With their tent. And what else? There was 3. They can't fly. They won't be able to fly. And basically that kind of happens with us too. Now, fortunately, we don't have to take those drastic measures because, my beak doesn't, I may have to go to the dentist to get my teeth fixed. And I am going to get my nails done. But fortunately, I don't have to worry about my feathers. And if I keep my body in some sort of shape, I'll still be able to transport myself from one place to the other. However, how many people know that there are people in midlife and younger that can't do that for themselves right now? Not because of an accident or whatever, but because they did not take the appropriate steps necessary. They weren't intentional about taking care of their health, about going to school, about finishing the paper, even if it was at the 11th hour, so that the professor would get to grade you. Because, the professor really, I'm telling you, I've been one. I was a professor at Essex County College, year, but the thing was, I didn't care how they did it. I gave them the assignment when it was due, no excuses. Unless you were in the hospital, really your mother died, and I need to be able to read about it in the newspaper or something like that. But you need to bring me my paper. Huh?
How do you lie about death?
Oh, people do it all the time.
Oh, that's just karma coming right back at you.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but they do it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I've given you all semester, right? Okay. So, at some point, at midlife, we have to do something, or if we're smart, we do it a lot earlier. So we have to be intentional about our growth. One of the things that, okay, where's my book? Right here. So, in the law of intentionality, it does talk about that growth just doesn't come. This is one of my favorite, and it says that people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Therefore, I always like that word, therefore, because I always then wonder what's the therefore? Therefore. They remain bound. They remain stuck. One of the reasons that that happens is because of what I'm going to talk about, which is growth gaps. When we're children, we grow kind of automatically. You know, I look at my granddaughter, she was born 2 years ago, and, you know, she's like almost right here at Nana. It's not going to take much longer for her to be past Nana. But she's just growing like a little weed. It's just amazing. It was like that with my son. He's like, Jeff, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
5'11". Who's over 6 feet here? Okay. My son is about 6'3". I'm 5'2". The boy can eat off my head. But I will still climb on a chair. And he won't raise his hand to me. Yeah, keep scratching, Sherman. Because I know that Miss Wanda ain't having it either.
Sure, you ain't what?
What?
But there are some things that keep us from moving from here to there. So let's just explore some of them. The first gap in getting us from where we are to where we want to be is the assumption gap. We assume that we can and will grow automatically. If we don't do anything, especially after we get out of college and maybe get our first real job, we think that if we go to work, we do what we're supposed to do, that's it. We don't have to have the proper attitude. We don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. I come to work, I do my job. An assumption that we'll just automatically grow. What about the knowledge gap? I don't know how to grow. You don't know how? Somebody give me an example of how you grow. How do you grow? How do you choose to grow?
Reading?
Reading? Great. That's always one or some of your earlier mentors can come from books. So excellent.
Continue to sharpen your skills,
Sharpen your skills. How do we do that, Ms. Wanda?
taking classes, training,
By taking classes, by taking additional training, practicing whatever it is that we've learned. Having mentors, yes. Anything else? So if we don't know how to grow, I would suggest that you ask somebody or pick up a book, because there's a way for you to learn how you can do that. a check. Because when you work for yourself, trust and believe that money doesn't necessarily come in on a regular basis, even if you are on contracts or long-term contracts like I am. I've been on this contract with Morgan Stanley training for them for 3 years. That contract could end anytime. So it's not the right time to grow. We have to make the time. That's part of being intentional. The mistake gap. This was one of my big ones. This was where I used to live. The mistake gap. I'm afraid of making mistakes. Afraid of failure. Don't want to look bad. Afraid that when I stand up to speak, that my mouth is going to get dry like it is now, and I don't want to have to walk over and get water and just drink it, or my lipstick is not on right. Afraid of making a mistake, that somebody's going to point me out and say, you did that wrong. That used to scare me to death. And you know why? Because we learned that early in life by going to school. So how many people, and you don't have to raise your hand, know somebody that has ever gotten a D or an F? Yeah, we all probably have. It's not anybody here. But we at least know somebody who has had one, right, Sherman? Right? Okay, so how do you think that person felt? They got a D or F in one of their classes. We learned that very early. You know, when I was going to school, because remember, I didn't tell you how old I was, but I did tell you I was midlife. Okay? Midlife.
28.
Huh?
28.
Oh, Jimmy.
This guy.
This guy. That's right, this guy.
Can't take him anywhere.
No, you can bring him. Bring him. Afraid of making mistakes. Whenever you choose to grow, and you're choosing to grow intentionally, you're gonna make mistakes. You're going to fail. Get over it the best way you can. Find someone who is going to encourage you to keep going. Because it's inevitable. Don't let anybody tell you any different. If they do, don't trust them because they're lying to you. My mentor, the same gentleman that wrote this book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, also wrote a book called Failing Forward to Success. We don't teach people how to fail forward, to move past that without feeling humiliation or feeling bad or feeling all of those other kinds of negative emotions that keep us stuck where we are. The mistake gap, one of the hindrances to growth. Let's look at just a few more. The perfection gap. I have to find the best way before I start. The best way. Oh no, I don't know about that one, or I can't go here because I don't know if that's the no, I don't want to go to that school. I don't want to take that class. No, I don't want to meet that person because they may not be the best. They're not the president of the company. They're not the CEO. They're not the manager. They're not the division manager. They're not the commander. But guess what? especially for those who are in transition, I want you to make a note for yourself on this one. Sometimes the commander, the CEO, all of those people, they may not be as accessible. But the person that you want to always make friends with is their gatekeeper, is their admin. Because that person is the real important person. May look like kind of lowly, may be glamorous, whatever it is. But let me tell you, you show up wrong to that person, you don't get to see the CEO, whether it's a him or her. So that's another reason why you really want to make sure that you're also connected. Finding the best way. The inspiration gap, I didn't feel like growing. Okay, so how many people really didn't feel like getting up out of bed this morning?
Yeah, that was true.
I'm telling on me. Because last night I had a major rollout at work this week. Oh, wow. Major software rollout. And this is one of those days that if I could have, but my integrity would not allow, I would have called in sick. But I didn't want to let Sherman down because I gave him my word. I gave him my word. So Jimmy, unlike you who gets everything done a week ahead of time, okay? I'm going to sit with you after the seminar. Because if you had a crazy couple of weeks like I have, you would be up at 3 o'clock this morning trying to get your handouts together. Okay? Then I overslept and barreled down 1 and 9, or Route 1 now, down here, to make sure I at least got here in time to show up. Didn't feel like it. Really, didn't feel like it. Didn't have coffee. Thank God I had some water. Didn't have breakfast. Made sure I put my glasses on, a little bit of makeup, so I wouldn't scare me, let alone you. Didn't feel like it. But what was important? What was important? I made it. I kept my word. I kept my word not only to me, but I also kept my word to Sherman. When you don't feel like growing, and you have a goal that you say that you want, not just something that somebody else gave you, don't let that gap catch you because you don't feel like it. The comparison gap. Others are better than I. Okay, so I had that also this morning. So I rolled in here, I got here, little flat shoes on and stuff like that. And then Miss Monique walks in. Simone, sorry. Well, she's Monique Simone. No. Miss Simone walks in, high heels. Look, I'm doing the best I can right now. High heels, makeup flawless, everything tight and right. And I'm saying, comparison gap. Others are better than I. She didn't have to get up and fly down Route 1 like a bat out of Hades. Y'all know that other word. The guy's filming. My audience is PG. Okay. But the thing is, no matter what, we still have that comparison gap. There's always going to be somebody better than you. So what? Be the best you. And the expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. Okay. Tell me what one thing you thought was going to be easier than it turned out to be.
Childbirth.
Childbirth. Oh, please, girl. Now you have to start off with that one. Nothing. Everything is easier than that. Guys, you can't relate? Everything is easier than childbirth. Hmm?
So it is 10:05 in the morning.
It's still PG. Okay, next. One thing that you thought would be easy.
I thought it would be easy starting a company. I thought starting a company should be something that's really simple, but it's not a simple process.
Starting a company is not simple. It's not a simple process. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
It takes a lot to get it started.
Mhm.
It takes a lot to get it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Alex. I know you're texting. I'm not calling you out like that, but I just want you to pay attention right now because I'm asking you a question. I'm sorry.
It's only already started with personal growth.
All right. Yeah. Nice comeback. Okay. One thing that you thought would be easier than it was.
Bartending.
Bartending. Oh, no, that should have been.
Yeah.
Okay. Bartending. You thought that would be easier. Okay, Sherman, little Sherman. Okay, I'm sorry. I lost my mom for a minute. Yeah.
Oh, going to 8 a.m. classes.
Go into 8 a.m. classes.
Because I thought, like waking up for high school every day, like, oh, you go to 7:45 and sit there all day. But 8:30 class, that's 15 minutes long in college, is a whole nother world.
No.
It's another ball game.
It
And I was
definitely
not
is.
ready for it, and I would never do it again. I made that mistake one semester, and that was the last time I ever did that.
Okay.
That's back dress 7:30.
All right. 8 o'clock class. Jimmy. You were hanging out with Sherman.
Probably.
Yeah, what? Is it known yet?
Getting up this morning?
One thing, besides the 8 o'clock class, because I already know y'all two co-signing on that one. All three. Okay.
Choosing a college after high school.
Choosing a college after high school, you had a lot of choices?
Yeah, I actually transferred 3 times. Well, 2. 1, 2 times.
Oh, okay. So that was choosing another college after college, not after high school.
After high school, college, then a different college, and then a different college.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, got you. All right. Carlos, right? Yes. Jumping out of an airplane. Yeah, that probably would have been, that to me is probably right next to the childbirth. Sherman.
Chopper.
It was Chopper. Come on, man. You didn't feel nothing.
So it's psychological. It's psychological. I got you.
No, I didn't say childbirth.
Oh.
The chopper.
Oh, the chopper. Okay.
I mean, if you
All right,
want to do a
so
job,
you're not gonna have to
I'm not
speak
gonna
up. You see, like I speak up, so I need to be jumping out of a chopper
Well,
or flying a chopper. You didn't jump
No,
out.
I didn't fly. I didn't want that job either. You come out on a rope.
You come out on a rope.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it's okay, but when you first come out, when you first come out, the rotors are right by your head.
Oh, nice.
They're going like,
Free haircut.
well, free haircut. You do it wrong, it's a free haircut. So
Oh,
you only want to do that
nice.
like once.
Okay. So that's also one of the things that will stop us from growing. Is we have an expectation in our minds that what it is that we want to do is going to be, oh, it's a lot easier than we thought it would be. So one of the things that John Maxwell says, that if Rome wasn't built in a day, we're still talking about being intentional. How long are you willing to give yourself to do that thing, to be that thing, to be that person that you said that you wanted to have happen? So this is where we will continue our dialogue. You're going to, I'm going to ask Jeff if you will turn around and talk to Alex. No, Alex, turn around and talk to Carlos, Karan, Jimmy, and Jeff Sherman. In your handout, that first section under the law of intentionality, there are several questions. Now, this is kind of like a timed exercise. You know how that is, right? Timed exercise. You are going to, each group, each pair is going to choose 2 of these questions. I'm going to give you first 2 minutes to go over your answers, to drop down your answers. And then you're going to have 5 minutes to share with each other what your answers are. Okay? So, where's my little TikTok here? So let's go. You have 2 minutes to jot down some answers, answering these questions, and then you're going to turn to your partners and you're going to discuss them. The partners that I've given you, not the partners that you are sitting next to. Okay? Okay, just make sure. Jerry. Okay, Jerry. Jerry, I'm going to get you a partner. Okay, because you already know that. Is it? I don't know. That's all in the eyes of the beholder. You know, like what? I don't know.
You know, if you like, you can match her up with Sherman Jr. Because sooner or later, I wasn't scheduled to stay the whole time. I had another appointment, but I'm going to try to stay for the next 15 minutes.
Okay, great.
Match her up.
Okay, but so in this way, you go over there next to Sherman. Okay? Sorry, you two catch up Carlos, you laughing at me? Oh, okay.
With you, not after, with you.
I'm from North, remember? Yeah, okay, I got you. So, what I'm going to ask right now is that each one person from the team, from your partners, if you will just briefly, you'll have 30 seconds to tell me something that you or your partner shared. You know, remember this seminar is PG. So, who in this partnership wants to share? Okay.
I'll go with myself first. Hopefully I can remember what Sherman. You know, people in midlife, you want to give things a lot.
Look, man, look, that's why you have pens. That's why we have pens, so we can write stuff down before it flights. It goes through flight.
We talked about number
So what are some of that? That's so general. Give us something specific that you have done that enabled you to track the things that were important to you.
Well, one, I to stay with tracking, I actually have a template that I make a list of goals.
Mm-hmm.
You list the goals, and then you list those core things that it would take.
For me? Or
I
oh,
list
okay.
those core things that it would take to reach the goals, and also the dates that I want to accomplish.
Okay.
So therefore, I can see if I'm reaching that goal or not.
Okay. Okay, great. Sherman? No, you
Okay.
you said you wanted to start, so
Yeah,
you're supposed to be giving me something that Sherman. So we need to be listening. Okay, do you remember anything, Jeffrey, that Sherman shared?
You shared number 4, and number 4, which skills or competencies we hope to grow professionally over the next year.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the actual study, leadership, management, and marketing. You said both of those, all 3 of those are kind of like all intertwined, so we studied those as well.
Okay, you studied those in school, and those are the things that are going to help you over the next year to accomplish. Okay. So, Karan, okay. Karan and Jimmy. Who's going to share? Oh, okay.
I share with them number 2, describe a childhood experience of overcoming fear. So I was born in Jamaica, and I came here. They put me back in grade because they didn't think I was smart.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up skipping 6th grade because I was.
That happens a lot with
Yeah.
people coming in.
And I ended up having to go to junior high school in the middle of the school year, and that scared the crap out of my first day of class. I dropped a bottle of soda for me. So, so that was I was absolutely terrified. So that's a fear I had to come because I had to go back to school the next day.
Yeah, you sure did. Because if you didn't,
My mother
your
would
mother.
Yes. And Jimmy shared number 5. Have you learned more from your victories and your failures? And he says from his failures because there's opportunities to grow from your failures. I think both because when you fail, you grow, you learn what not to do. From your victories, you know what to do next or what has succeeded.
Okay, okay. And that's great, but that was his
Yeah, that was
answer.
his.
Okay. All
Good
right.
discussion.
This team.
So I shared, we kind of shared the same one, which was in what ways have you proactively pursued personal growth since completing your education? I shared with him that additional, in my field of IT, additional experiences, certifications to better my craft.
Mm-hmm.
Get better at that. And Sherman shared that he likes reading. And that at one point he was using like the thickness of the book, so because you want to read one book a week. And then eventually he got to the point where he was reading novels.
Okay. That's great, that's great. So I don't know if anybody picked up anything that they might be able to use. So let's go back here to this group back here. Simone and Roy.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Okay.
All right, so we shared, everyone seems like they shared the personal growth since completing education. Let's go to a childhood experience of overcoming fear. I used to be afraid to swim, right? Go with the whole cliche. But one time we're at the pool, and my sister had a stuffed animal that she dropped in the pool. She jumped in after the stuffed animal, and she's 3 years younger than me. She couldn't swim. She's drowning in the pool. I had to jump in after her. I jumped in there, and I was able to get her to the side of the pool. After that, haven't been afraid to swim since.
Great job. Great job.
Hey, it didn't matter. I doggy paddled in order to save my sister.
That's right. That's right. Amen. Simone?
A childhood fear was being afraid of the dark. Just being afraid of the dark. I think it had a lot to do with the way that I grew up, but the way that I overcame it was actually having no choice. And we had a blackout for about a day and a half, and I had to go anyway, and nothing happened, so it helped me overcome.
That's great. That's great. So, you know, what I heard, you know, from many of you today is that sometimes we have to do it anyway. Sometimes we don't even know what we can do until something is more important. Saving my sister. That was more important than my fear. Planning. I know that I need a checklist. I can't just carry stuff around in my head, and I need to measure it. So putting it in front of me and being able to check things off really, really does matter. Planning certifications, knowing what the criteria was, what the expectations were for a particular job or career field. I know that they expect these things. If I want to grow to the next level, then I need to meet those. Even though I may have the experience, if I don't have the credentials, don't get mad because somebody else got it, less experienced than you, because you didn't take the time to get the additional credentials. Do what it takes. Okay? So let's move on to the next law, which is the law of awareness. You must know yourself to grow yourself. I always like this one. Because this reminds me, and my business majors, you know about this one, right? The SWOT.
Oh.
The SWAT team. Okay, the SWAT. You need to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your interests and opportunities. Now, this one isn't quite SWAT. This is kind of like swoop. Swoop. Okay, that was good. But anyway, so we need to know these things about ourselves in order to grow. We really need to know what our weaknesses are. Not so that we can lay prey to them, but if we don't know what some of those things are, they will come up and smack you upside the head. They really, really will. They'll come out of the dark. They'll come out like, where did that come from? So we need to know what our weaknesses are. We also need to know and to own our strengths. We need to own them. Like we own our cars, like we own everything else that's dear to us. We need to learn how to own our strengths. What are you really good at? And if you don't know, there are plenty of opportunities. There are plenty of things that you can do to help you to uncover those things. I'm good at flying by the seat of my pants. Literally. I'm not literal, but. And you know, if I have to perform, even after 3 o'clock in the morning and a couple of hours of sleep, because my focus is on who I'm standing in front of and what I want them to be able to take, not from necessarily what I say, but also from what they discover and uncover within themselves, that's more important to me. So I'm going to get up, I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to get there. Because whether there's one person or 100 people, it doesn't matter. That person got up and got here, that person is the important person. You need to know these things. You need to know where you are on the spectrum. If you have a very strong, whatever your strengths are, and you know that you can kick those things up to another level, do it. Do whatever it takes. And where do you want to be? You need to know how and what it's going to take you to get from here to there. And you can't be bashful about it, and you have to be willing to plot it out. And if you're the kind of person that really kind of needs help with that, then that's the reason why you have coaches and mentors, why you have training sessions, while you have people that will give you their time as well as have you pay for their time in order to get you from here to there. That's what college is, right? I don't know anybody that goes to college, grad school for free. There may be scholarship, but that means that you paid for something in order to get it. So where are you and where do you want to be? I assert, and through my mentor, that one of the ways that you're able to do that is to find your passion and your purpose. This is critical, critical, critical. Do you like what you're doing now? If you don't, change direction. Find something else to do. Can you do what you want to do? Do you need more schooling? Do you need more certifications? What is it that you need? Do you know why you want to do what you want to do? Do you know what to do so that you can do what you want to do? That's where, again, mentors come in, where people who are already doing what you want to do. There are people out there willing to help you. Some for free, some for free. What are you willing to pay for? What will it cost you? When can you start? I say now. You've been answering some questions today that can provide the basis for what's next for you. There's another another law that I put in your handout that I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether or not you are going to take the time to answer those questions, and that's the law of the mirror. We're going to skip over the exercises, but again, I'm going to ask you to make sure that you take some time to answer those for yourself. I've answered them for me. This is about you. This is about your time. This is about your growth. How committed, how intentional, how aware are you willing to be to have what you say in your life turn out the way that you want to have it turn out? Whether it be 8 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, or 8 o'clock at night. There's always a cost to all of it. What are you willing to do? I'm going to just skip it. I'm just going to skip ahead to this really quick commercial. And that is, I have a mastermind that we'll be going through the additional laws, and you'll have the opportunity to really delve in to what's next to develop your own personal growth plan. On the back of your handout, the next to the last page, you have a registration form. There are 2 sessions that are going on the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. The first session will begin Wednesday, August 10th, from 8 to 9. I'll be using Zoom, so you'll be able to do this right from the comfort of your home. The second one is going to be 8 weeks starting Sunday, August 21st. A great way to jumpstart your week. The price for my masterminds are $299. However, because you are here today, I do have a seminar special. So if you'll just take your pen and if you will cross through the $299, and if you will write in $149, $149. And I want you to have the code that I want you to put next to that is RCI 730. So if you decide that you want to join me on in my mastermind so that we can still have some fun. It'll be virtual, but we'll be able to see each other and still have some fun. And I'll still be in your face, and I'll still be laughing along with you. Okay? So, again, there's another law that you can look at for yourselves. Try to answer, no, take the time, make the time to answer those questions for yourself. And it's been a pleasure really being here with you, having fun with you, and hopefully, I trust that the time that you've spent exploring some of those questions has encouraged you to look at the answers that you've discovered for yourself